You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
In this episode, there are predators and aliens versus predators? I don't know. I'm in a hotel room. It's Apathetic Enthusiasm. We're off to a tremendous start, Brandon.
We're doing really great. We're not distracted by anything. We're purely focused on the topic at hand.
Yeah. Nothing in our life is distracting in any way, shape, or form. We're definitely not in a random spot that we don't usually record in.
Nope.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Every little thing is gonna be all right, as they say.
Yeah. I heard they say every little thing she does is magic.
No, that's a common misconception. So what happened was the white colonists came in and they're like no,
free blankets.
And then NATO, there's a whole thing, and then like flag burning. You get arrested for a year if you do it now.
Hi everybody, welcome to Apathetic Enthusiasm. My
Hey,
name
everybody.
is Travis.
I'm Brandon, and thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be a good episode, I think, tonight.
Yeah.
Only because we're both feeling all right.
I'm all loose.
Loosey goose.
If you have never stayed in a Drury Inn, which sounds like really depressing as a hotel.
Yeah, because it sounds like it's close to dreary.
Yeah, like in this dreary hotel where at 5:30 p.m. they offer free low quality food and up to 3 drinks for registered hotel guests. It's great. It's great.
You know, whenever I'm in one of those places, I'm like, just go downstairs and get the free drinks. But I'm already upstairs. I'm like, when I'm ready, I will go down and I'll buy it myself. I don't need your free drinks to know when I want a drink.
Oh, rich Uncle Penny Brandon's over here just buys all of his free drinks all the time.
Penny Brandon's. That's my new screen name.
Rich Uncle Penny Brandon's. All right, we have topics to talk about tonight, but before we do, let's get through a little bit of housekeeping. Obviously, if you're new here, I don't know how you found this podcast, but we're glad you're here. There are several ways that you can keep in touch with us. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Apathetic Enthusiasm Show. We have an email address, apatheticenthusiasmshow@gmail.com, or apathetic_enthusiasm is our Instagram. You can go to our website, Apathetic Enthusiasm, where you can find this podcast as well as every other podcast we make. Probably not. There's probably some missing from there. There's definitely some old ones that are missing. But if you want video versions of this podcast so you can see what a spectacular hotel room I'm staying in, you can go to youtube.com/Apathetic Enthusiasm and get video versions of the podcast. Finally, support the show and all of our podcast endeavors at patreon.com/Apathetic Enthusiasm. That's right, I had the show notes open.
Yes, you did. So for our video listeners and watchers, I don't notice this normally, right? When you do the housekeeping, but this time I was like, oh, you know what? He doesn't just remember it. He has a script that he does, and I'm like,
it's not a script. It's literally just a list of links.
Yeah,
and,
no, I know.
And we recently had, I think, the 10-year anniversary of our YouTube channel, which means we've been podcasting much longer than that. And I should know that entire rambling by heart. I probably do, but I always like to look at the outdated show notes. Notice I didn't talk about our Twitch, which is still auto-generated in the show notes all the time. Twitch.tv/Apathetic Enthusiasm. If you want to go back and watch really old live streams that probably aren't even hosted there anymore.
Ghost Goblins. I'm playing.
You could support our outdated TeePublic shop, which we probably don't get any revenue from. That's still in the show notes for some reason, but I
get it.
There's no script. It's just me embellishing and adding flavor and life into a list of boring URLs.
You know, here's a reason I haven't changed the template, right? So for listeners behind series baseball, behind the World Series baseball, every show notes gets auto generated. All Travis does is be like, he presses basically like, oh, I want to talk about this, and then presses a button, and then I have a template on Google Docs, and it populates, and it populates with all the old links still, and I can't be bothered to change it, but there's there's a specific reason I don't, Travis, and here it is. Are you ready for it?
You asked for it. Here it is.
It gives you a strategic pause because you have to stop and think about it, and it spaces out your words. So
Yeah.
be sure to check us out on video. Apathetic Enthusiasm at YouTube.central. Shit, what is this link?
That's not right.
No, that's the
I have to
clear
think
link.
about it.
Okay, patreon.com/apathetic enthusiasm.
You know what's even worse than that is because the process you just described is
Yeah.
pretty accurate for Interdimensional RSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast. Yet another podcast available at apatheticenthusiasm.com and at at our YouTube Apathetic Enthusiasm. No, I don't use the form for Apathetic Enthusiasm show notes anymore. This is gonna surprise a lot of Apathetic Enthusiasm listeners,
My
but
gosh.
I don't do a lot of prep for this show. So I literally have an old. It dates back to our 241st episode because that's the last time I renamed this Google Doc. The title of the episode is "Your Guess Is as Good as Mine," and I just reopen that Google Doc, highlight the main topics that we talked about last time, and type in the 3 or 4 things that we plan to talk about in this episode. So the links have not changed in a millennia.
What's funny, Travis, is as much prep as you do, I do even less. And
I know.
especially when we're releasing the episode, I don't even go to the show notes for what we talk about on AE. I just copy what we did for the last AE episode on RedTube, Red Circle.
We, for the record, we are still not posting on that site.
So on Red Circle, I just copy the last post. I'm like, okay, this is it. I'll just change 3 bullets and change the intro. Sometimes I don't even do that, and I screw it up, and then the next morning, like, oh no, it still says last week's episode. That's all I do. I don't even look at the show notes anymore.
It's good. It's good. At this point, you don't even see the show notes. It's just movie, video game, comic book. Yeah.
And the Travis Lorcana minute.
That's
What's
right.
going on, Lorcana, Travis?
Let me tell you guys, it's a big week. That's right. The brand new set, 9th set, Fabled, is coming this Friday, August 29th, for pre-release in a local game store near you, and then 1 week later for retail release. And it is gonna change the game. That's right. This is the first set of rotation, the first 4 sets from the first chapter through Ursula's Return, all being rotated out. That's right. You cannot play them competitively anymore, which means only sets 5 through 9 will be legal. Tear your decks apart, set them on fire, dance on their ashes. Lorcana is brand new.
So does this mean that you're only going to be able to play like Secret of Nim or Dragon's Lair cards?
Brandon, you do this to trigger me. You do it intentionally.
What is friends? What is the one with Rasputin in it? I don't remember. One of the best Disney movies.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's
Anna Karenina.
Yeah. Oliver and Company. That's what it's called. Yeah.
That's great.
Anyway, yeah, new set comes out this week. It is a reprint set, so there is like 80% of the cards are reprinted from previous sets, which initially made me not want to buy a lot of it. And then they just had some really sick looking enchanteds in there. Oh boy. Yeah, so there's some really cool new cards in there. But yeah.
Travis, how many Rescuers Down Under cards are there in Lorcana?
Do you want me to answer that question honestly?
Yeah.
There are a number of Rescuers Down Under cards.
No, that wasn't my question. I didn't say give me a vague number. Don't just say number.
Um,
How many rescuer down under cards are there?
I down under specifically,
Yes.
maybe 3, but there are a
Okay.
ton of rescuers cards.
All right. Well, it's not good enough for me.
I don't
Uh,
know. I
and
may I may be underselling that. There
and
if you have a Bianca card,
uh
does that count as both rescuers and rescuers down under if it is in an arbitrary location and you don't know that it's specific to Australia?
I'll say yes. But
Then
only if
3,000.
um. Okay. Last Lorcana question before I move on.
This isn't even
How,
in the show notes, guys. We're just
how,
we're just freewheeling with this.
how many Fievel cards are there in that deck?
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. This has been Apathetic Enthusiasm.
I
Until
love
next time.
Fievel. I didn't like when he went west. Like, come on, man, stick to your East Coast roots.
American Tail is a classic. I stand by that. It's fantastic. But as everyone listening to this podcast knows, it is not Disney, and we will never assume that it is.
Okay, well, Stuart Little has something different to say about it.
Walt Disney said it all started with a mouse, and he was
Yep,
obviously referring to Stuart Little.
that's right.
All right.
Mouse on a motorcycle. Remember that one? You remember Mouse on a motorcycle?
Yeah, I think we have the book in my house still.
All right, stop distracting us. I
Mm.
want to talk about actual content.
Yeah, next episode we'll be talking about the fire pulls that I had from my Lorcana collector's trove or my sealed events, and we'll do a breakdown of what I pulled in the sealed events.
All right. All right.
Yeah. So we mentioned this. I think was it in Apathetic Enthusiasm? I think the last one that we recorded. We went to Comic-Con. We walked through the Alien Earth interactive exhibit. I filmed so much of it, and then proceeded to edit that video and never release it. So it's some real awesome content, just in the chamber, as I want to do. But this and I think we talked about this in the Comic-Con one as well. Like, you signed us up for the Alien Earth walkthrough. You signed us up for the after 4 p.m. one. I think knowing that was more of like a haunted house, spooky type walkthrough thing. And I, in my blind trust in my good friend and podcast partner for over a decade, who knows I'm not into spooky stuff, I just trusted you. Like, yeah, we'll go do this fan activation, this brand activation. And it wasn't that scary. It really wasn't like, it was like daylight, so it could have been a lot worse. But that all said, it did do the job of piquing my interest in the new show that has come to FX in the last few weeks, as well as Disney Plus and Hulu.
Alien Prometheus.
Alien Earth. Yeah, which I watched before you even did.
Yes, you did.
How did that happen?
I'll tell you how that happens. Hey, you guys want to watch that Alien Earth show with me? Yeah. Okay, cool. You want to watch it right now? Yeah. Okay. Well, eventually. And then last week, you have to watch those episodes so we can talk about it. Hey, you guys want to watch Alien Earth? Yeah. You want to do it right now? No, we're gonna watch it right now. And so we watched 2 of the 3 that are out right now. I didn't watch the third one yet.
Yeah.
I thought about ditching them and just watching it without them, but I am someone who's like, if you say you want to watch it with me, I will wait to watch it with you.
Yeah.
And like, maybe to my detriment that I don't watch things ever because I'm like, I want to watch this with them. They're never ready. Well, neither am I, guess.
I think my tendency is to turn the show on in the living room, and if I get engagement from family members through the first episode, if anyone in the house is like, "Hey, let's play the next episode," I'm like, "Okay, you're in." you're in on this show. If I put the show on and halfway through you're scrolling on Instagram, or you walked into the other room to make a cheese souffle or whatever might happen, right? Like I
That's
I
very specific.
I read that as maybe you're not as interested in this show as I am, and this is a show that I can watch in my office alone on Saturday mornings when you're still sleeping in. And
Right.
that's not to a specific person, that's to everyone in my house. Or
The cheese souffleist of your house.
oh, so many souffles, man.
How
It's,
many eggs do you go through a week?
it's I don't like to think about it. I've taken out a second mortgage, a souffle mortgage, as I like to call it.
A baker's souffle,
Oh,
a baker's
a
mortgage.
baker's mortgage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bank was like, "Are you opening a bakery?" And I was like, "I wish I could turn a profit on these souffles."
And then you just put like a stack of souffles on the
I have
their
nowhere to
desk.
store them; they're everywhere.
Also, there's a $5 bill somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Hopefully, that'll
we
get me
call it
to.
collateral, soufflateral. uh, anyway, yeah. So that is exactly what happened with Alien Earth. Is the show premiered? It was a 2-episode premiere on FX. I watched it on Hulu. And I turned the first episode on, started watching it. Sheena kind of was like half watching it, but then didn't notice when the first episode ended and when I started the second episode. And then by the end of the second episode was like very much not engaged with the show. So I was like, all right, you're not into this. That's fine. She has shows that she likes to watch that I have no interest in. This is perfectly normal part of our healthy marriage. Sure, we'll go with that. And so then I watched episode 3.
I don't play Candy Crush either. That's like,
Yeah,
that's Chelsea's
it's
thing.
healthy to have separate hobbies. You don't
Yeah.
hear her on this podcast talking about aliens.
No.
Um,
Aliens. Oh wait, no, we did do aliens. Oh no, yeah.
yeah. Oh, did we talk about aliens on this podcast?
No, Chelsea and I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For Mother's
But yeah, so then I watched episode 3 completely separate in my bedroom. So
Okay.
I was like, yep, this is now one of my shows. But the fact that I watched 3 episodes and am interested in continuing to watch it is a testament to this show. And I've watched several Alien movies from the franchise, but I admittedly have not watched all of them. So it's almost opened the door for me to want to go back and watch some of those other films as well, and kind of just kind of get caught up on all of the Alien lore.
Yeah. Because this show comes out like 6-10 years before the first Alien movie, which is
Does it really?
yeah. So it's actually a prequel to the Alien movie, the original one in 1979. Ridley Scott, Sigourney Weaver, and then Prometheus and Covenant come out before this movie or this show technically.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the knowing alien lore, Weyland-Yutani, all these types of things, I'm coming into it with a understanding of what the lore is, what companies exist still in the future and in the sequels, and how this somehow ties into the Alien movie, the Alien franchise, the original one before Covenant and Prometheus. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, I did think about that a little bit. Like, as I was watching it, and even as I was texting you about the show and saying some things about it. By the way, the air conditioner in this room is super loud, so if that's distracting, I'm sorry. But if you can't hear it, great. Anyway,
Cool.
yeah, and it's cool in this room, so thank you, air conditioning. Thank you to the inventor of air conditioning. Anyway, I was talking about this, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm really liking it. It's crazy that this is like a TV show, because I still am in wonder sometimes about the fact that, like, TV shows can look like movies, like hour-long movies every week. But I was like, oh shoot, am I overselling this to a person that is very familiar with the Alien franchise and may or may not feel the same way? So I was curious what you thought of the show once you started watching the first couple episodes.
Yeah, I would say I like the show, and I want to watch more of the show. Um, but I there the it has very cinematic qualities to it where it could show in the theaters, but I can also really tell that, oh right, this, like, I watched it on Hulu. There's no commercials,
Yeah.
but I can tell when it goes to a commercial.
Oh, when there's like that abrupt stop between scenes and it kind of drags for a second before it
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
back. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that I'm like, okay, that's always a every 10-minute reminder. This is on TV. This
Sure.
is not a it's not a movie.
Which I think is interesting about the fact that it is on FX first. It is on traditional cable. It is not made specifically just for Hulu or for Disney Plus. Like, even though those streaming services are what I'm watching it on, it still has to account for those ad breaks that have to exist in traditional television. It's interesting.
Some of those moments are very in the first episode especially, because it's introducing characters, it's introducing the lore and the world and Prodigy and all these characters, that it gets to a certain point and then it's like it cuts to black. And in a like a streaming show on Netflix or a movie, when it cuts to black, you're like, okay, well, that was that episode. Let's see what's next. And then it's like, let's start out. Now we're coming back from the break. Like, oh shit, no, okay, it's not done. Wait, when is this episode over? I don't know when this episode is over.
The only thing that would be more jarring is if you were actually watching this on FX and then like it cuts to black and then it's like, are you tired of stains on your jeans? Try Advanced Tide with Ultra Bleach. Like, and just completely take you out of the moment in the scene to talk about, I don't know, disinfectants or something.
That's what Rod Serling used to bitch about.
With Twilight Zone, yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, how do you tell a good story, and then all of a sudden you go to an ad break, and it's a little furry bunny talking to you about
Doublemint gum is twice the like.
Like, yeah, it cuts tension, it cuts some of the storytelling. But anyway,
I think that's what is super interesting about like very early television in like the 1950s and stuff, when ads were almost done like radio, where it, like the host of the show or somebody associated with the program would just then break and start talking about whatever they're advertising, and so it almost felt more connected, or like they could tailor it more to the program.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
Anyway,
because
Aliens.
it's still tied to the show in some way. Like, oh well, interrupting you to talk about how you should get your oil changed by Namco.
This is our really easy way of segueing into a quick ad break. So if we had actually planned an ad break, this would be the time to do it.
We'll be right back.
All right, you can throw an ad in there. I don't have all of my normal equipment. I can't cut to
do you like
split
do you
screens
like
and things.
bunny ranches? Well, make sure you vote on Prop 72 to legalize bunny ranches across the nation.
Is that
I don't know.
an ad that ran?
We had an ad one time that they're like, I don't know if I can keep listening to you guys because you have an immigration ad.
Yeah, we did tailor down a lot of the types of ads that we can run on the show, and it has severely reduced the amount of revenue that these podcasts make, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's not why we do it. We do it for
That's
you.
not what we do. Immigration.
Do it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, Alien is a pretty good show.
Alien.
It
What do you like about it? What is it? What is it? So you watched all three episodes. You watched the first episode. It was enough to pique your interest to keep going. What has kept you going?
I like the um it's an interesting concept, this idea of like synthetic humans that in the show, one of the major companies in the show is experimenting with creating synthetic humans where you transfer consciousness into the human or into the synth,
The
uh, and
hybrid.
and then that person can then basically live forever in this artificial body. Um, that's kind of a neat kind of sci-fi trope. You have all kinds of different between cyborgs and these hybrids and um, just fully AI type, no real humanity, but just like a fake person that is still like it's more machine than human. But so there's like
Yeah.
these different gradients of artificial life or I don't know how you would explain that, but that's interesting. And then the major corporations that kind of run everything, and how you kind of have a war between companies instead of countries because of how big these corporations have become. Um, so that like political aspect is interesting. Also, there's cool freaking aliens that kill a bunch of stuff. That's also cool.
Yeah, I like watching people die, and that's my main draw to this. um,
I would say, and maybe this is just a little bit of like leftover from the crap that you made me go to at Comic Con. But like, there's a part of me that realizes there's this whole segment of pop culture that I am aware of, but not engaged with, and that is most of the horror genre. I've dipped my toes on a lot of stuff, but like most of the stuff that I watch, I'm like, yeah, it's not really that bad, or it's not like it's scary, but it's not like when I was 8 and it was scary. So like there are parts of it that there's still some stuff that I'm never gonna be really interested in because of just it doesn't appeal to me.
yeah,
But there's other stuff where I was like, I could probably watch some of this stuff and actually appreciate it for what it is. And I think that was part of this as well with me starting this was like, yeah, like I've watched the original Alien and Aliens, and I enjoyed those movies. Like, there's no reason why I wouldn't like the show. And
yeah.
yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Huh, yeah. A couple things to a couple of things you mentioned. The the whole like cybernetic AI kind of conversation that is in this movie, or I keep saying movie, right? So that shows the quality
To
of it.
my point, thank you very much.
But what's in this show? So throughout the series, the movie series, you've had Ash, you've had Bishop, you've had David from the Prometheus. You've had all these like these the AI bits, the synth or the androids or whatever you call them, right? And so they've always been there, and it's always been very much a like conflict between them. Ash in the first one, especially, he's a major conflict. Bishop in the second one, in the third one a little bit. He's not a conflict. He is there to help out. Like
Yeah,
he wants to help humanity. David in Prometheus and Covenant, like not really. He's there kind of to his own ends, doing his own thing. And so it's interesting that they took this show and they kind of made it focus on, yeah, you have these kind of androids, but you also have these other androids that are doing it. All these different companies looking for, uh, as it says in the kind of like the opening notes, immortality
yeah,
of like how can we continue to be dominant species, and whoever wins this will win the whoever has whichever corporation wins, their technology will be the driving force. And
Yeah,
knowing that
yeah,
in by Alien Resurrection, you still have Wayland Utani. Like there's a little bit of a well, I know how this kind of ends, but how does it get there?
yeah. My blind ignorance to where this falls in the historical timeline helps with me not reading into that as well.
Sorry,
No, that's fine. I'm just
I broke it.
yeah, you broke it. It's spoiled.
I
I'm
ruined.
just gonna quit watching it now. Yeah, the third episode, which you haven't watched, gets even further into some more philosophical aspects of like synthetic people
Mhm.
and what like what is humanity and some connections between some of those individuals and different types of those individuals. It also is just really fascinating to me that the alien species, these xenomorphs, require a species like humans to procreate, right? Like they have to lay the like face hugger and then spore and chest burster and then xenomorph. I think that's the Pokemon evolution of them. So,
Yeah.
and then I think you get like an EX, and it's like a extra
It,
valuable card. I think.
and there's a Mewtwo, and that's when uh that's
Okay. I now I want a Pokemon card that's just a chest burster, and it's got like the like stage 2 evolution up in the
yeah.
corner. Yeah, somebody get to work on that. I think that'd be great. Uh, but the fact that synthetics are not necessarily affected by that. So if they are not human, then they are not. It's not like they're free from danger because they can still be attacked. They can still, but nobody's trying to lay eggs in their stomach. Glory to Glorzo, so to speak. Um,
Yeah.
so then that kind of adjusts the opportunities for interaction with the aliens and things like that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Did you
I
see
recommend it.
did you watch Prometheus?
No, but it is
Oh,
on my shows we think you might like on Disney Plus now because I keep watching Alien. So
okay, so Prometheus was co-written by Damon Lindelof.
I've
So
heard of him.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what he's been on, but I don't know. Whatever you want to leave over, you could probably
I
put him
I had the name of the show, but I've lost it
in. So he co-wrote Prometheus, and so uh, one of the people in there is not Guy Ritchie. He was in Memento. I like the guy.
now. Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. But part of that is Prometheus is about trying to find the creator and trying to find like kind of everlasting life. That's like a theme of that. And so like I have that stuff in mind as I'm watching this show of it tells you right off the bat they're looking for immortality in some way, shape, or form. And so I'm like, how do these things tie together? And why did this person in Prometheus go this way, but this company is still going this other way?
Hmm.
I'm trying not to
Hmm.
spoil things for you, having not
It's
seen
fine. I'm
Prometheus.
gonna go watch it this week.
This week we'll talk about it next week on Apathetic. No, we won't. Next week I'll be in Hawaii. So, um,
Aloha. Yeah, I'll do a special Lorcana only podcast next week while you're
um, what I like about this show, what I actually I take that back. What I don't like about this show, I want more Timothy Oliphant.
gone. I mean, who doesn't?
He's so in the first two episodes. Maybe he gets better in the third episode. In the first two episodes, he's so subdued, and he's not like anytime he speaks, you're like, oh, what is he? What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? And he doesn't do anything. it's like smoldering. He's got that smoldering like android look to him, um, which I love.
He
But I
has
want more.
he has a little bit more of an active role, I think, in episode 3, but he's still the same character, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I dig that. I like uh the the hybrids that they used the Disney cartoon to make themselves themed.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of dig that.
I dug that. Um, One thing I'll say about Timothy Oliphant, going back to that, is we saw Blade Runner 2049, but before that, you saw Blade Runner, and everybody knows that Blade Runner was directed by Ridley Scott, and so there is some extent of them being in the same universe as Alien, and I can't help but
Just
notice
because
that
it's the same director?
no, there's references
Okay.
in each
Okay.
of them. But I can't help but notice that Oliphant kind of looks like Rutger Hauer from Blade Runner. I can't help but notice it.
It's ruining the whole show for you, Brandon.
It
Just
really
can't,
is.
Can't shake it.
Just say androids dream of electric sheep.
That's that's how this show's gonna end, and there's gonna be an electric sheep at the end. There
Yeah.
is there is like that weird eyeball alien, like
Oh yeah.
infecting a sheep. I think so.
Well,
Could
it came
happen.
out of
Could happen.
it came out of a cat.
It did, but I think in the trailers or something, there's an image of like a mutilated sheep that's being
Oh.
affected by it. But that's an interesting alien. That's new, right? That we haven't seen
Yeah.
that in other.
Yeah. So I like that. I like what so in Alien the franchise before the show, it's just kind of been like this is the first time anyone's ever seen an alien, right? That's how it feels.
It does.
And now all of a sudden in this show, they're like, there it is. There's an alien. There's another species of alien.
Yeah, that's when you said that this was a prequel to the original Alien, I was like, really? Because like exactly the scenario you described. But I think there's a way around that with this crash in the first episode, like happening in a contained like building that's owned by one of these companies, and then the company maybe like keeping a lid on the fact that there are aliens at the crash site. So maybe it's not public knowledge. Most of the people that interact with the aliens in this die. So I don't know that they're going to be like spilling the beans about the extraterrestrials on the spaceship.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I think in the original Alien, they had been in hypersleep for some time as well.
Okay.
So, like the existence of aliens may not have gotten to these people who've been on a space freighter for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's feasible that they've gotten somewhere and they're like, oh, we found an alien spacecraft, and of course, Weyland-Yutani is like, oh, really? Huh. Interesting. That's crazy.
Weird.
I never knew
Aw.
anything about aliens.
Another. I mean, what?
Yeah.
All right. So, final thoughts on this. I would recommend it to people. I recommended it to you. Your thoughts after you've watched 2 episodes?
Yeah.
You gonna stick with it? You does it
Yeah.
fall in well with the other Alien source material, or does it feel kind of separate because it's a TV show? Like, what are your thoughts?
Only 2 episodes in, so I think what I'm most interested in seeing is how it ties into the broader Alien universe.
Yeah.
And I don't. I kind of don't want it to end up in a Star Wars way where they just start putting a bunch of prequel stuff and like mequel like in the middle of things, and like building out lore in the middle of these stories we've known for so long,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, well, now I know that you're going to keep building stuff in the middle. Where does this take us? I don't want that. I would love to see this being a self-contained. This is how it ties into the Alien universe. It gives us context, but we don't need to explore it any more than this.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And yeah, hmm. Yeah, it's that catch 22 of TV shows when they become successful. If a lot of people watch it, then they don't die a clean death, and then you get Hurley Bird episodes and things that happen.
Yeah.
So, all
Yeah.
right, all right. Moving on, we watched some Alien, and you said, "All right, well, fine. If we're gonna talk about Alien in the next episode, then you need to watch the other classic extraterrestrial action, series, the newest installment for Predator,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Killer of Killers. Is that what it's called?
That's right. Yeah.
This
Not
is
not Predator Prey,
no,
because
no,
that
no.
that was good. But
It was good, and I did watch that.
Yeah.
Did we talk about it? I think we did talk about it.
I think we did. Yeah.
Killer of Killers, which I knew nothing about, and you had already seen it when you recommended it to me. I don't know what inspired you to check this out.
You know, I'm an Alien fan. I'm a Predator fan.
We haven't
I'm a-
established that on this podcast.
I'm an Alien versus Predator fan. Even though Alien versus Predator Requiem, the second Alien AVP movie, was awful. I did enjoy the first one. It wasn't great, but it was still like, oh, Lance Henriksen, he's cool. Um, and there was an arcade game.
I think what
in
you're saying is you're an Alien versus Predator apologist. You
Yes.
recognize that these are not cinematic masterpieces, but you're okay with that.
Alien versus Predator is the first crossover, right? So Predator. So let's go back in history, Travis.
Alien vs. Predator, I think, is just fanfic that got funded.
Yes. So couple different franchises. Let's first talk about Nightmare on Elm Street, and then Friday the 13th. So Friday the 13th came out. It was the final Friday. At the very end of it, Freddy's claw comes out, grabs Jason Masks, and pulls it into hell. And we're like, oh, that's going to be a Freddy versus Jason movie coming out. We didn't see that for like another 10 years. Okay. Predator 2. So Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? That's a whole thing in the jungle. Predator 2 comes out. We've got what's his name? I want to. I forget. Doesn't matter. Anyways, so the second one comes out. At the very end of the movie, he ends up in a Predator spaceship, and in the background, you see an alien skull. Because the Predators have
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover, thank you.
Okay.
You see an alien skull in the background, in the alien spaceship, in the Predator spaceship.
And
It's like,
Harrison Ford, because obviously Blade Runner and Alien are in the same universe, and then if Predator's in the same universe.
Don't distract me. Don't distract me here.
And Indiana Jones's whip is in there too.
Yeah. And the fugitive's one arm, because the one-armed man. So I'm like, oh, there's gonna be an Alien versus Predator movie. Well, so I'm like, we got to have these crossovers. Freddy versus Jason happened, sure. Alien vs. Predator happened. They had video games. They had Dark Horse comics about it. Like a really badass arcade game, Alien vs. Predator. So when we said we're going to talk about Alien Earth, I'm like, well, Predator's coming out too, and we need to talk about this. And the new Predator movie is coming out pretty soon. With Predator Badlands.
Yes,
Which-
I saw a trailer for it at Comic-Con, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you noticed, Travis, but one of the Fannings is in it,
Yeah.
and she has a Wayland Utani logo in her eyeball. Because guess what? Alien versus Predator is still happening, and they're building up these universes together now. Where
Yeah.
Earth, Predator Badlands, Predator Killer of Killers, and
she plays a synth type character in the movie. It's all connected, Brandon. Look at
So
us. Look at us.
so of course I have to talk about this Killer of Killers. Um, I uh I thought it was a TV show. I didn't realize it was a movie. Um, and so I watched it like, oh shit, it's over. Oh, it was a it was a movie.
Yeah,
Great.
I thought it was a TV show. I didn't realize it was a video game cutscene. Which it undersells it because it is actually pretty good. But I have to be honest, the first 5 minutes of it, I was like, did I turn on the right thing, or is this a cutscene for like a God of War video game?
Did you know it was an animated thing?
I think I did. Um, Either you said it last time or just when I added it to my watch list and saw like the animated predator that they used for the splash screen.
Okay.
It's like, okay, yeah, this is not live action. But the style of animation itself is, I mean, it's a creative choice. I don't dislike it. I think it's good, but it just gave those vibes. Is how I felt going into the
Yeah,
movie.
it kind of felt uh the League of Legends show with Jinx and Vi.
Arcane, is that?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah,
kind of like that.
yeah.
Um, the so the movie starts off Vikings time, and it's like three different segments, four different segments technically of different predators throughout the eons of humanity. Starting with Vikings, then goes to samurai, then goes to like World War II, and then into kind of the future. Uh, I think that if you don't know about Predator, about the lore of Predator, like I think it could be kind of jarring going into it, or if
Yeah,
you're not
no, I can
expecting it.
attest. It certainly is.
Yeah, well, what about that?
Well, I think just um, the Viking opener for me was like, okay, this is kind of well. It starts off with a splash screen of text that is sort of like from the history of the predators or something, I guess, like about battling or going out and finding the strongest, you know, predators or whatever and fighting them or something like that. And then it goes into Viking times, and I was like, "That's weird. That's like, oh, maybe this is about like I knew nothing about this movie, so I was like, is this about a predator in Viking times? Like, is that what this is about?" And then there's a splash screen where it says like the shield, and it like kind of names the segment. And by the time you get into the second portion of the film, you realize this is almost a little bit like anthology with these different stories. And then I started to pick up, okay, I see what's happening, because there is a little bit of they kind of wink at where they're ultimately going to end up with the movie with these characters all coming together. And I was like, okay, that's great and all, but at some point, if these characters survive, two of them are going to be in drastically incorrect timelines, if not all of them.
Yeah,
Um,
anachronistic is
yeah.
what we say in the biz.
Oh, that's what you say in the biz?
Hmm.
The biz that you're in?
Yeah, yeah, the time travel biz.
Okay. But with all of that said, I thought each individual segment, and maybe with the exception of the bullet, I thought that the shield and the sword segments were really good. I really enjoyed them. I liked the storytelling in them. The action sequence in the shield was just phenomenal. Like it's really well done, even for like animation. Just the like kinetic energy and the way that the camera kind of like moves through the scene and as they're attacking the encampment and stuff like that. Like I was really into it. I really liked it. And then to go from that, which there's also like a lot of heart and like character connection in those as well, and then a big giant alien predator thing that shows up, and then they have to fight it, and it's just the juxtaposition of like a sci-fi predator in like feudal Japan, or like it's just I don't it's really interesting, and a bold creative choice that I don't know, I dug it. I really thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the I wanted to like the bullet section way more because like the idea of dogfighting and and having to fight alien spaceship versus a World War II fighter, like that's cool to me. One of my favorite segments of heavy metal is the World War II bomber um, animated section, and I don't
Yeah.
know if you know that, but I love it, and it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but I still enjoyed it, right? Um, so did you stuck around for the extra credit scenes?
Yes, I think so. Where they show some familiar characters.
Yes.
Yes.
So here's what I'll say. The first time I watched it, only the first time because I haven't watched it again. So the only time I've watched it, it got to the end. It got to that end credit scene, and it was the woman from Prey.
Yeah.
That's all you saw. Spoilers. I was thinking to myself, where's Dutch? Where's Danny Glover? Where are they? Like it makes sense that they would be there too. And then while we were at Comic Con, everyone was like, they updated the end credits. They updated him to include those two people, and I'm like, okay, we're good again.
Yeah. 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 I was a little distracted by the end credits because I didn't know that this film was both like co-written and directed by Dan Trachtenberg,
Yeah.
who I was a fan of long before he ever made his first movie. Because way, way, way back in the past, I used to listen to and watch a podcast called The Totally Rad Show,
Hmm.
and it had three hosts. Dan Trachtenberg was one of them. The other ones, like the other two people from that podcast, went on to make a separate podcast called We Have Concerns, which was the
Oh,
podcast that I was listening to regularly when you approached me with the idea of starting a podcast. So,
you want to know you want to know what's weird, Travis?
what?
Is Trachtenberg, who I think he wrote and directed 21 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Um, and I think he also co-wrote the Thing prequel. Uh, John Kaufelt, he's like, yeah, I went to school with Dan Trachtenberg.
That
And
doesn't
he,
shock me, but is a
it,
real small world.
yeah, and he was like, I was like, can you tell him that I loved his movie? Can you tell him how awesome he is? He's like, yeah, I mean, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I'll shoot him a note. I never heard anything back from it,
Yeah.
but I was like, but still, like, crazy, right?
So like the podcast like rabbit hole that I go down is, do you remember the website dig.com?
Yeah,
It was like a predecessor to Reddit. Like it was like you would upvote basically content, and then the people that downvote stuff obviously. But that had a companion podcast called Dig Nation with the one of the co-creators of Dig. I think he was a co-creator, Kevin Rose, and then Alex Albright. The two of them would just literally talk about the top posts on Dig and they made a podcast out of it. It was one of the first early podcasts that I remember listening to regularly as well. But then Alex Albright was also on Totally Rad Show, which is how I found that podcast, which had Dan Trachtenberg and then Jeff Kanata, and like they all had like their different things. Like Alex was more into some of like the tech stuff and like just other things. I think Jeff Kanata was more like the video game guy, and then Dan was the movie guy. And then so then Jeff Kanata did that show with Ian, not Ian Cardoni. What's that? Definitely not him. But yeah, the We Have Concerns. Like, I still follow that guy on Instagram. So I don't know. It's weird. Small podcast universe, but yeah. Anyway, Carboni. That's the guy, Anthony Carboni, who like went on to like host the Star Wars show and still does regular engagements with like when Star Wars comes out. So like, I don't know, they've all become very successful. Congratulations to all of them. But that was why I was super distracted at the end credits, because I was just like, I didn't even know that he was involved with this project, and to know that he was like basically his brainchild was
and rightfully so that you were distracted, because clearly we got distracted by all of these random chains.
Yeah, it's apathetic enthusiasm, everybody. Tangents are what we do here.
But Predator Badlands, that's going to come out pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm interested in wondering where that takes us in the Predator universe. Also, I don't know if it's written by Trachtenberg, but he has some, coordination with it. So
what's the new one called?
Badlands. Yeah.
Okay.
So this one, all the Predator movies have been about the humans.
Yeah, Trachtenberg's directing that one as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this one, the Predator is the main character.
Yes.
So that's interesting to see where that takes us.
First hunt, last chance, from the director of Prey. Man. Yeah, he's killing it. He's doing good stuff. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. So by the end of September, I need to watch every Alien movie and every Predator movie.
Not every Predator. You can skip Predators.
Okay.
Wait. The Predator. You can skip that one.
Okay, skipping it. Because I have to wrap all of that up before I start watching all the Friday the 13th movies, so I can justify owning the really sick poster that I didn't give to you at Comic-Con, because that Mondo poster, the Friday the 13th.
I have that poster still. Yeah, we got that poster.
You don't have it? It's probably in one of the 6 poster tubes in your trunk.
Dude, I've got so many poster tubes and bags.
How many poster tubes are in your car right now?
In my car, or where I can see?
In your car.
Oh, 2.
That is 2 more than should be in your car.
That I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 poster tubes within vision.
And here's what I'm going to say confidently. All right, chat. All right. Is when we go to San Diego Comic-Con next year, he will not have any of them with him, and he will have to get 2 more, not because he needs to, but because he'll get one on one day, and then he'll get a poster on another day, but he didn't bring the poster tube back to the convention, so he'll have to get an extra poster tube to protect the poster that he got that day.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's
I think for your birthday, I should just get you like a plastic, high quality poster tube.
I will leave it in the car.
You will. You'll forget it. Never mind. Just go to the Hulu booth and get yet another giant poster tube.
ADA.
Okay. So Alien vs Predator. Tons of great content out there. Go watch it all on your streaming service of choice, and then when you're not doing that, football season is starting. which is why Brandon and I got to spend a large portion of our Saturday afternoon with some of our closest and dearest friends, picking picking professional football players from a list in order to put them in a slightly smaller list, so that we could then do math every week to see which one of us is better at picking football players. Yeah. How'd you feel after your draft, Brandon?
I want to discuss this more, Travis, but I think we should discuss this on our new bonus podcast.
A bonus podcast that goes out to less than 30 people, specifically 12 league members, 2 of them being us. But I think for some reason there's like 30 people in the league Facebook group, so all of them can watch the episodes, because that's where it's going to be posted directly.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Swifflecast.
Swifflecast.
Brandon and Travis.
Brandon and Travis, the most least sports people in the league, are going to do sports commentary every week, specifically for their friends, or people that are loose acquaintances that we may have just met for the first time today.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's good. We took a picture. I don't have a copy of the picture. Bob has a copy of the picture. I don't have a copy of the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
He doesn't have your cell phone, so
it's true.
So stay tuned for that podcast, but only if you go to facebook.com/Southwest Football League.
Is that the actual URL? I don't know that it is. It's probably
not.
No. All right. That's going to do it for this show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have you watched any of these shows? If so, let us know what you think. Leave a comment in the YouTubes. While you're there, like, subscribe, and hit the little bell notification so that you know every time we post a new episode. Yeah, and I think that's going to do it for this one. Brandon, any closing comments, final thoughts?
All I want to say is, AVP. Yeah, 2 great franchises, middling sequels, right? But they're coming together.
It's true.
There's a universe being built.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see it.
World
and
building.
I can't wait to see it with you.
Yeah.
One person.
And all I want to do is zoom, and a boom, boom.
I thought you were gonna say.
Just shake your rump. All right, everybody. That's it. Until next time, I'm Travis.
I'm Brandon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bunch of old heads.